Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
We've been around the world and back, but it's been a long journey. But we've recovered from COVID and been on vacation, and a bunch of things have changed, and we're just glad to be here.
Welcome back to Elvis Fans Matter.
We
How you
want to.
like,
Well, what?
how you like my wife's hair? She finally got it the color of mine.
That's what I've been trying to do. But I was going to say I'm dressed up for Halloween, but you know, instead
Well,
of a
I would
witch,
try
I'm a
not to.
bitch. Don't you say
I got your broom.
you got my broom?
Yep. But anyway, we want to start maybe giving
Shout outs. Some shout outs.
It's well overdue.
Yeah. The first one, we want to say thank you so much to Miss Norma Metz, who just turned 102 years old, and her daughter, Susan Guthrie. Thank you so much for the popcorn, and we are going to really enjoy it. Love popcorn. And next is Paige Mercantile. Hope you're doing good, Paige. Joanne Verdisco, or Verdisco. I hope I got that name right. I'm not good at pronouncing names sometimes, but anyway, I hope you're doing good, Joanne. Miss
You ought to be pretty good at it. You know, you did graduate to 6th grade.
I did. Nancy Parker, hope you're doing good, Nancy. Robert Patterson, good to have you, Robert. Enzo DeGrassi and Constance DeGrassi, hope you enjoy the pictures. And thanks for watching. Tina Griggs, glad you're with us. Will Lee, good to have you. And our good friend Stephen McCarty, what you up to? Bless your heart. I know you're up to something, and we want to say too, we don't get to see them a whole lot, but all of Billy's cousins, Harold Lloyd's kids, all the Lloyd cousins in Tupelo and down around in that area, say hello to them, and also to Tony Verace and his son Aaron. Billy's gonna be calling you, Tony.
Yeah.
And in New York.
They're our stepkids.
Yeah.
From
No.
New York.
Adopted.
Adopted. Yeah.
And one very, very special person too. All these are everybody's special, but this one good friend of ours, and we enjoyed so much spending time with you during August and going to eat with you and your husband at Marlowe's and just watching our back all the time. Thank you so much, Linda D.
Love Linda.
Love Linda D. She's a good friend of ours. And with that,
I'd like to bid you an affectionate.
I do want to say one thing because it's October and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Yes.
but Paige Mercantile is a very recent survivor of breast cancer.
Oh,
so
okay.
congratulations to Paige.
Congratulations, Paige. I know that's saying a lot too. That's good. That's great. And also a hello to Alan Wade and Cheryl. Been knowing them for a long time. Good friends. Debbie Brown, all of them. Glad Angie Simpson's home and out of the hospital, and glad that our good friend Phyllis Potts is doing good. So.
And there's probably a few we left out.
A whole bunch of people we
don't mean to.
No.
Just,
Keith Alverson and Marcia Alverson. Great picture books that he's done. He traveled when we did with Elvis, he traveled all over and took great pictures, and if you don't have one of his books, get it. They're great. Now, got that out of the way, and
Jimmy Fallon and his wife. No. But anyway, that'll wind it up for our shout out for this video. Been a while, so I'm gonna try to come up with a story, and I can't. It's just plain. No. This one, I guess it's just it got a little cool here, and I was out on the porch and swinging, and it just crossed my mind. It's during the filming of Kid Galahad. We were in Idlewild, California, in the mountains, and we were having snow and all that, and it slowed production down a little bit, but the song in it, you know, it's home is where the heart is, and we were sitting around one night at home, and me and Elvis got to talking about different things, and I told him, I said, you know, I said that song, you know, it's a great song, but it makes me sad, real sad sometimes. It reminds me, you know, of Joe and my brother and Mom and Daddy, you know, back home. And he said, you know, he said, does me too. He said, you know, it's kind of sad and lonely, but I think about stuff like that too. He said, you know, he said, people don't realize that sometimes when, he said, and I've said it before, sometimes when you're alone, you know, you're all alone with your thoughts and memories. And he said, you know, he said, all of it, you know, he said, it reminds you of certain people. He said, naturally it reminds me of Mama and the snow, ice cream, ice cream balls that she rolled up in '58 and saved in the freezer for him. He said, you know, he said stuff like that, and he said, and also it reminds me of Priscilla. And I said, I just had found out, you know, not long before that who Priscilla was. And I said, really? I said, you know, I said, how does it remind you of her? He said, well, he said, you know, he said, I can't seem to get her out of my mind lately. He said, I think about her a whole lot. And I said, you know, what about Anita? He said, he said, Anita, he said, you know, I love Anita. I always have, and I always will. He said, but it's just something about this young lady that I just can't seem to get out of my mind. He said, you know, I wish, you know, some way or another that she was here and not, you know, in Germany. And he said, I talk to her every now and then. He said, you know, he said, I wish, like I say, I wish, you know, she was here. And I'm thinking the whole time, you know, And he said, you know, he said, if Mama had lived, he said, you know, I might probably have been married already to Anita. He said, Mama wanted grandkids so bad, and she wanted me to, you know, she wanted me to get married and have some kids, you know. He said, of course, naturally at the time, my career was going good, and she knew it, and so she didn't press me at all about it, but she mentioned it every once in a while. He said, of course, you know, I know now that it wasn't meant to be. He said, but, you know, he said, I get lonely like that so many times. He said, but, you know, when I'm out in public, he said, I try not to show it. He said, but even sometimes with a huge crowd, he said, you know, you get somewhat lonely. And I'm thinking, yeah, I know what you mean. And we talked on for a little while like that, and he was talking about, you know, some way or another, if he could get Priscilla over here. And he said, if I could, he said, I would. He said, but I do think about her a lot. And so I'm thinking, because I really liked Anita. She was such a sweet lady.
I did too.
Took up time with me and my brother Bobby, and even when Elvis was in Germany, she took us to the skating rink every once in a while, and even got to meet Tommy Sands during that time in 1958 at Chenault's restaurant. He was coming to town, and she knew him. I had met him, and she, invited him to go to Chenault's restaurant, where Elvis liked to eat, and that was quite a thrill. But like I say, I'm thinking, this ain't gonna be good. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this. But anyway, it also told me that Anita might be on her way out. And of course, that's just was my thinking. I'm thinking, why? Because at that time he wasn't seeing another woman, not regularly, and he had been, he'd say he'd be going with Anita. So, but anyway, I guess a lot of you know, naturally he talked to Priscilla's daddy and
put the charm on it.
And laid the Elvis charm, and actually, talked him right into letting her come over here and staying, with her, with his daddy. That way, he could be around her, and he'd put her through school and all that. Boy, would I have ever loved to have heard that conversation. More than one, but he talked him right into it. But that was, that was
I can relate to that. I can relate to that charm.
But yeah, but I at that time, I think both of us, it was snow on the ground. It was close to Halloween, and it was, it was happy, but it was somewhat sad too. But I thought I'd just, kind of relay that story with you, and tell you that I felt a lot of his pains and his loneliness at times with him, because not too often would he talk about, stuff that it was sad he'd get to him or anything like that. He was just not the type of person. He was more of a upbeat person. So, but we had a lot of fun on that movie. Enjoyed it. Had, like I say, had days that that the snow was on the ground, and it was cold, and it kind of hold production back, which was not good at that time, because no producer wants to, he wants to get behind no production because it costs him money. But anyway, I thought I'd share that little story with you and just let you know that we're glad to be back, and we sure have missed doing some of these, and hope we can, continue on with our stories on EFM. And just remember that, what do we say?
Elvis fans matter.